So let's get into it. It's a good thing. Okay, so Larata says it's a good thing. It can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. So interest is extra money charged on money borrowed or extra money earned on money invested. So when you are borrowing money, it's not a good thing because then you end up paying more for that thing because of interest. However, if you are investing money, is a great thing because you get some extra money added onto what you have invested. So it can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. It all depends on what you are doing with your money. Okay, so let's have a quick look at important words for this chapter. So I've got them all in this little cloud here. I'm going to ask you guys to please match these words to the definitions in the table over here. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to quickly read through. There are 8 definitions. You need to match the correct word to the definition. Just keep your answers off the chat for now. So I'm going to give everyone a chance. And once we've filled in all the answers, we can take a screenshot. So don't worry about writing down the definitions. You can take a screenshot once we've got all the answers. Okay, so if we have some answers, maybe let's start with number 2, because I've already filled in question 1, because we actually just did that definition. So any takers for question 2? Extra money charged expressed as a percentage on the money borrowed or earned on the money invested. Or earned on the money invested. Good. It is indeed interest rates. Okay, number 3. Interest that is calculated on the principal amount of money that is either borrowed or invested. So keyword, there's principal amount. What kind of interest is worked out on the principal amount? Any takers? Okay, so when we see the word principal amount, we know that it is simple interest. I think we've got a few of those. Okay, good, Tamia and Claire, nice. Okay. Number 4, interest that is calculated on the accumulated amount of money. So we've got interest that is worked out on principal amount and interest worked on the accumulated amount. So it is or is good. Compound interest. Okay, so keyword accumulated amount for compound and keyword for for simple interest is principal amount. Okay, the initial value of the loan or original amount invested. What is number 5? The initial value of the loan or the original amount invested. Perfect. Principal amount. Good. Okay, so that's what we always start off with when we do our interest calculations, whether it's for a loan or investment. 6, a sum of money borrowed that is expected to be paid back with interest. Nice, 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 nice. Oh, all super confident with that one. Loan. Okay. That's when interest is bad because we need to pay more because of the interest. The amount of money to start up an investment, what is that called? Nice. Capital. And then 8, the process of allowing customers to buy items through making monthly payments until paid in full. That is known as hire purchase good. Okay, also a relatively new concept and topic in grade 12. You might have touched on it in grade 11, but you see it a lot more in grade 12. Good. Hire purchase. So hire purchase, you're allowed to use the product, whether it's a car, like a washing machine, until you pay it off. But you are allowed to take that thing home and use it and then pay it off in monthly installments afterwards. Okay. Nice. Well done, guys. So I'm going to give you a quick moment to take screenshots of the definitions. Okay. So let's start with simple interest. Simple interest, it's literally in the name. It is the nice and easy one to work out. It's very simple to work out. It's the nice one. Okay, so simple interest, its interest is charged on the principal or the original amount due only, resulting in the same fee every time. Okay, simple interest, we basically work it out by taking our principal amount times in by the interest rate and times in by the number of years. Now, remember in Maths Lit, we don't use the interest formulas, the APIN formulas. We never use that, so don't use it in the exam because you won't get all your method marks. So we always have to work it out step by step. I'm going to show you how. So this kind of formula that I've got here, that one is okay, but we're not using APIN. So the main thing with simple interest, the main takeaway from this definition is that it will be the same amount every single year. So if you are paying 10% on 1,000 Rand investment, you're going to earn 100 Rand every single year. It doesn't matter how many years you are investing that money. The interest is going to stay the same. So let's have a look at the worked example. Sorry. Linda deposits 1,000 Rand into a savings account. it will earn 2.25% simple interest per annum. Okay, so key thing to also remember, per annum means per year. Okay, need to take note that they have mentioned simple interest, and we need to look at the interest rate as well as our principal amount. So those are the important things. Principal amount, what is the interest rate? What kind of interest? Is it simple or compound? Okay, so the first question asks, work out the interest earned after 1 year. So what we're going to do is, because it's simple interest, we take our, principal amount, the original amount of 1,000 Rand. We times it by our interest rate. And because it's only for 1 year, you can say times by 1 year, or you can just leave that part out. And 1,000 times by that interest rate will give you 22.50 Rand. So that's how much interest Linda is going to earn after 1 year. B then says, calculate the interest earned per month. So if we know the interest per year, to work out the interest per month, we are going to need to divide by 12. So that means every single month for that year, Linda is going to earn 1.88 Rand on that investment. Okay, then question C. If Linda decides to invest the money for 3 years, determine the total value of the investment. Okay, so now they've changed it up again. So let's work out the interests to begin with. So to work out simple interest, we take our principal or original amount times by the interest rate times by the number of years. It is now 3 years. And that gives you an answer of 67.50. Or because we know in the first year, it was 22.50 Rand for the first year. For 3 years, you could just say 22.50 Rand times by 3. Because remember, the interest does not change over the years. It stays the same. Okay, so that is just the interest amount. They want to know the total value of the investment. So we've just worked out interest. Okay, so to work out the total value of this investment, she starts off with 1,000 Rand, plus she earns 67.50 Rand. So the total value of her investment is going to be 1,067.50 Rand. So there's quite a few things they could ask you with simple interest. You could just work out the interest. You could work out the total value of the investment or the loan. Or they could ask you to work out the monthly interest, for example. So you always need to pay attention to what they are asking for. Okay, you guys happy with this work example? You happy to try one by yourself? Let me see in the chat. Thumbs up, thumbs down, smiley face, not so smiley face.
At least we have one thumbs up.
Yeah. Feels like I was talking to myself. Okay, and Kateko, thank you. Songe, Nomble, awesome. Sanele. Okay, great. And some hearts even. So I'm so excited. Okay, let's try one by ourselves now. Question 1. It's all on you. Okay, if you have some answers, you can share them in the chat. Or if you want to explain how you got it, you're welcome to raise your hand and let us hear it.
Zoleka's asking, ma'am, can you change the months into years?
Yes, you will need to do that. Okay, Bonpe, and then 2 times by the number of years. Okay, good. Nice, Larato. Yes, Ayabonga. Okay, so let's have a look at the first question. Okay. So firstly, we're looking at the principal amount of 12,000 Rand. It is over 36 months. So that was a little bit of a trick question there. We know that we need to convert that to years. So we have to say 36 divided by 12. You will obviously need to show that in your calculation because you'll get a mark for realizing and doing that. So it is 3 years. And then we have to look at the interest rates, which is 7.9%. Okay, how much interest will Benele have to pay? So we say our principal amount, keep doing this, of 12,000 Rand times by our interest rate times by the number of years, which is 3 years. And that gives you an amount of 2,844. So on top of what Benele is paying or borrowing from her dad, 12,000 Rand, she also needs to pay an extra 2,844 Rand in interest. Larato, I see you've raised your hand. Do you have a question for me? Or is
Just
it
look for a pop-up on your screen. Here we go.
So, ma'am, I want
Yes.
to ask,
Yes.
are they going to penalize us if we don't change 36 months into 3 years?
Yes, because if you times him by 36, you're going to get a very different answer.
Oh, okay.
And
ma'am. Thank you.
remember, the interest rate says 7.9% per year, so it'll have to be converted to years.
Oh, okay.
Okay, pleasure.
Thank you.
And then Larato as well, and everyone, if they mention 7.9% per month, then you would then times by 36%. But because it says 7.9% per year, you have to convert your months to years. Okay, but I'll say it again. If it said 7.9% per month over here, then you would leave your months as is. Okay. B, what is the total amount that Benele will have to pay her father? Okay, so we take the original loan of 12,000 Rand plus the interest accumulated over the 3 years. So Benele will have to pay 14,844 Rand. We have some of those in the chat. Nice, Luto. Nice, Ben. Good. Okay. Looks like we're getting it. And we figured out the little trick over there. Let's look at question 2. Tumi has set aside 800 Rand per month for the last 2 years. He decided to invest this money in a bank in order to put down a deposit to buy a house. Tumi approached a bank that offered him 12.5% per annum simple interest for a period of 36 months. Okay, so all the important information, let's highlight that quickly. So 800 Rand per month for 2 years. We don't know the total that he's invested yet. Okay, we know that it is 12.5% simple interest for a period of 36 months. So again, the time frame is in months. A says, calculate the amount that Tumi will be able to invest in the bank if he's going to invest the total amount he has set aside. Okay, so in this question, we are trying to figure out what total amount is he investing. I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to work that out quickly. Once you have your answer, you can let me have it in the chat. Okay, anyone want to try and give me the answer in the chat? So it says, Tumi set aside 800 Rand per month for 2 years. So how much did he invest? We are going to say the total that he wants to invest is 800 Rand per month for 2 years. 2 years is 24 months. So that means Tumi has saved up 19,200 Rand in those 2 years by putting 800 Rand in every month. Okay, so now he wants to invest this 19,200 Rand. He's gone to the bank and they've offered 12.5% per annum simple interest. Remember, it's 12.5% per year. So that means we need to change our months to years. So again, 36 divided by 12. Jumping the gun there, which gives you 3 years. Okay, so determine the interest he will earn from the bank. And I see Ree's already given us an answer there. Just remember we are using the invested amount, which is our 19,000. So method is perfect. but you use the wrong principal amount. It's 19,000 times by our interest rate times by the number of years, which is 3 years. So he will earn 7,200 Rand in interest. Yes, nice, nice. Okay, well done, everyone. Have we worked out question 3 yet? If not, I'll give you a couple of minutes, should I say? If you have your answer, you can put in the chat. Okay, do we have any answers for question 2C? Okay, so we worked out the invested amount. Tumi is investing 19,200, so that is in the bank. And now because of the interest he's earning, he earns 7,200 Rand because of interest. So at the end of the day, the total amount in his bank account or investment account is going to be the original amount that he's put in plus the interest. Okay, let's see what we've got in the chat here. If we're getting the same answers. Good, nice. Okay. So Chimi will have 26,400 Rand after those 3 years. Okay, so that's why it's really a good idea to invest money if you can, because as you can see, it grows quite nicely due to interest. Good, well done, everyone. So as you can see, the same types of questions are popping up over and over again. They ask you to work out the interest, then the total amount at the end of the period. Okay. So that's simple interest, nice and easy. Take the principal amount times by interest rate times by the number of years, because the interest is the same. So we can just say times by 3 years. Even if it's 50 years, we just say times by 50 because the interest will be the same every single year. Whereas compound interest is slightly different. So I wouldn't say it's harder, it's just a longer calculation. So compound interest is interest that is calculated on the accumulated amount of money. So your interest is going to change every single year. So now, just like simple interest, we can't just times by 3 years because every year we're going to have a different amount. So the interest constantly increases and does not stay the same. So let's have a look at our work example. I'm going to do this one with you. I'm probably going to need a bit more space. Okay. If Ayabonga invests an amount of 12,345 Rand at 8.5% per year compound interest for 3 years, determine A, the final amount of her investment. Okay, so let's first look at the important information. Our principal amount, interest rate, it's compound interest, and it's for 3 years. So with compound interest, we can't just do our calculation and times by 3 because every year is going to be different. So now we have to work out each and every year separately. Remember, we can't use APIN. It would obviously be a lot easier, but we have to do it the long way. So I'm going to break it down. year one. Ayabonga has invested 12,345 Rand. I'm going to times it by the interest rate. Okay, now this bracket is going to give me the interest amount. I'm going to take the bracket and add it back to 12,345 so I can see the total amount for the end of year one. Okay. So I'm just going to do this one separately for now so you can see. When I work out the brackets, I get 1,049,33. So that is the interest earned in year one. I'm going to add it back to the 12,345. So that means at the end of the year, Ayabonga is now going to have 13,394 Rand and 33 cents. So I'm just going to highlight the interest amount each year so you can see how the interest changes. Okay, now remember, compound interest is calculated on the accumulated amount of money. So this 13,394, that is the accumulated amount of money. So now we're going to work out interest on that amount, not the 12,345. So we go to year two. And we use our accumulated amount, which is 13,394 Rand 33 cents times by the interest rate plus the amount of 13,394,33. Again, I'm just going to show you every single step just so we can see everything as a whole. So in year two, if I work out the bracket, which is the interest amount, the interest is going to be 1,138,52. I added to the accumulated amount for the second year. Which gives me 14,532,85. So I'm going to highlight the interest again. Can you see in year two, the interest is now 1,138. It is very different to year one. It is slightly more because you're earning interest on your interest. Okay, so the interest changes every single year. You get a little bit more as the years go on. It's not a set amount. Okay. And then because it's for 3 years, we have to do this one more time. Okay, so year three, we use our accumulated amount, so the end of year two's amount, as our starting amount for year three, times by the interest rates. Okay, so the interest earned in year three is now going to be 1,235,29. Add it back. So at the end of year three, Ayabonga is going to have 15,768,14. Again, let's look at the interest earned in year three. So I'm going to highlight it in yellow. Again, it is slightly more. So each year the interest is growing based on the accumulated amount each time. So the key thing to remember with compound interest is you have to work out each year separately, but then you always use the previous year's amount for your next year. So year one, we start year 2 with that amount. Then we get our answer for year 2. We use that amount to start year 3. Okay, so like I said, not much harder, it's just a longer process. And as you can see, according to the yellow highlighted part, interest grows every time. It is different every single year. Okay, I'm going to give you a moment maybe just to screenshot it. I don't know if you're able to keep up with copying and listening. Let's quickly take a screenshot. And let's look at question B. Okay, let's just change to A now, but the next question. Work out the total interest earned over the 3 years. So, okay, I see I've got some answers here. Okay. Okay. Right method, and you're on the right track, Lerato, but you used the wrong numbers. We're just looking specifically at the interest. So it's the numbers in yellow. So there are 2 ways you can do it. So I've worked out the interest in each year separately. So you can go and add the first yellow amount. Okay, which is 1049,33 plus the interest from the second year, which is 1138,52 plus interest for the third year. Add all of those together. Yes, Upiwe, yes, and Sako. 3423,14. Okay, so that is one way you can do it. But now let's say, for example, you don't do all of these steps, 1, 2, 3 steps for each year. Let's just say you do the first step and the last step. You're not going to have the interest amount. So another way you can work it out is that you can see the final amount that Ayabonga has. And you know the starting amount that she had. So all you can do is say 15,768,14 minus the starting amount. Why is it not moving? Of 12,343, and you will get the same answer. So you don't need to do all 3 steps for each year. You can just do the first line and then the last line. And if they ask you to work out the interest, you take your final amount minus the starting amount. Okay, how do we feel about compound interest? How was that explanation? Are we understanding it better? Do we get it? Are we good?
A thumbs up, maybe. Okay, there's one from Offense.
Nice. So yeah, it's a bit tricky. Imagine if we had to do this for 12 years. Yes,
Becky's asking for one more.
We're definitely doing one more. And you are going to do it. So you guys can decide if you want to do all 3 steps like I did, but you're more than welcome to just do step 1 and the last step for each year. So here is your next question to try by yourselves. Okay, hopefully after a little bit of practice for you, it will be much better. So when I made this lesson, clearly I liked the number 3 because everything's just been 3 years. But I feel like anything more than 3 years is just too much.
Yeah, no, definitely. When I ask this question in an exam, I keep it to 2 years.
Yeah.
There's no way I am marking 9 lines on a maths lit paper.
Right, to remember, times 7%. You need to include the percentage sign. Ooh, do we have an answer? Larato, your hand.
So ma'am, are we supposed to write the whole full sum on the chat, or just write answers only?
You can just write the answers. You can maybe say year 1 and what you got for year 1, year 2, what you got for year 2, and year don't have to write the whole thing. That will take forever.
Okay.
Thank you. Becky, nice. Well done. Yes, Larato. Okay, so it looks like year 1 was good. And Sako, yes, well done. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let's have a look at year 1. So remember, compound interest, we have to work out each year separately. Okay, year 1, we start with our principal amount or the original amount times by the interest rate. We add it back so we can get the total including interest for year 1. Okay, so the interest will be 70 Rand. So end of year 1 looks like that. Then remember year 2, we use the final amount for year 1, the accumulated amount. So 1,070 times the interest rate added back to 1,070. So the interest earned in this year is 74.90 cents. As you can see, it's increased slightly by 4.90 added to 1,070. So the total for year 2 is 1,144.90. So I'm just going to bring your attention to the interest. First year, the interest was still at 70 Rand that was earned. Year 2, it was slightly more because we worked it out on the accumulated amount, not the principal. Good. Just remember, Zoleka, to add that 0 after the 9 because money needs to have 2 decimal places. Otherwise, they don't give you that answer mark in your exam. Okay, then year 3, we use our accumulated amount from year 2 times by the interest rate. Add it back. So year 3, the interest has jumped up to 80 Rand and 14 cents. Add it back to the accumulated amount. So at the end of year 3, Joseph is going to have 1,225 Rand and 4 cents. So as we can see, the interest increased far more. Okay, so Nele, you're slightly off there. Did you see where you maybe went wrong after looking at my calculations? Okay, I see quite a few different answers. Did you guys see where you went wrong? If not, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, then to finish off, let's look at the total amount of interest earned. Okay, cool. Sounded good. Not a big thing. Okay, so total amount of interest earned. To work out the interest amount, we take the final amount after the investment period minus the original amount. The original amount was 1,000 Rand. So that means Joseph must have earned 225 Rand and 4 cents in interest. Nice, Shells. Good. Alternatively, if you show every single step like I did here, again, you don't need to. I just do it so we can see everything. You can go and add all the interest amounts here. That is also another way. Okay.